When was your I've made it moment? How come you're stepping away from cakes next year? Has it been a bit overwhelming? What's been your favourite cake you've ever made? What's next for Tegan's Custom Cakes? So I thought tonight we would sit down and do a little bit of a YouTube Q&A. So I put up a question box on my Instagram account. So first up, we have Hayley McDonald. Can you believe how big you have got over the years? It's an incredible achievement. That's very kind of you, Hayley. Thank you. It has been like such a slow growth over the 9 years. So I feel like sometimes I do need to actually take some time to reflect. And it is pretty cool, like how in a small town, I do often get recognized, which I take that very honorably. Hayley Rose asks, when was your I've made it moment? I don't think I've ever had an I've made it moment because I don't feel like I have. I feel like I'm constantly pushing myself and I set lots of goals on all the new things I want to achieve, but my proudest moment would probably be at the Greatest Shepparton Awards a few years ago when I won the Young Professional of the Year award. Hi, I'm Tegan from Tegan's Custom Cakes, and I just won Young Professional of the Year award, which is pretty awesome. I still remember the kind of build up they had it, and I literally, when they read out my name, I stood up and I felt like I was gonna pass out. My heart was beating that fast. Kaylee Rose also asks, what's the most difficult cake you've had to make? I have been trying to push myself lately and take on a few different new techniques that I have to learn, and I have to spend a bit of time studying before I make them. So they're usually the most difficult ones, and they definitely take up the most brain space when I'm building up to having to do them on the Friday. My most difficult cake delivery has definitely been when I delivered a 4-tier cake. I'll drop a little photo here, but there was literally like that much room between the top of the cake and my car. In, but we've had to take the flour off the top because it wouldn't fit, but oh my god, it's so heavy. Kaylee also asks what's next for Tegan's Custom Cakes, and next is going to be a year off, but then after that I still have so many things I want to do. Like I would love to do classes for adults. I would love to continue to do my kids cupcake classes because they're so cute watching all the little kids, and I had a few come up to me, which was like, this is actually probably my I made it moment. One of the little girls in my cupcake class came up to me and said, I watch your YouTube channel. Do you have any merch I can buy? And that literally like melted my heart. Carly Bugler asked, did you ever think that you would become so reputable with your business and craft? That's very sweet. I feel like I literally am fully self-taught. So I've learned everything that I've done from like YouTube videos, like I don't have any professional training in like cake decorating or pastry chef or anything like that. I've learned everything from scratch. So it is pretty cool. Looking at the cakes I've done all the way back to the cakes that I do now. So that's pretty cool. Liv asked, what advice would you give to other women wanting to start a business? To just go for it. Don't wait until you've got all your ducks in a row, until everything's perfect. Like you learn along the way. You'll see things and you'll slowly improve on them. Like I started this YouTube channel, didn't have any like little mics, which I finally have now. Don't always use them, still learning. And I'm going to buy like a nice cool camera next week, but just everything you just learn along the way, and just ask questions. People that you look up to, like reach out to them, ask lots of questions. You don't have to be perfect, just be consistent and just put yourself out there. Like say yes to things that scare you. If you have a moment where you have a thought and you're like, I want to do this, don't wait a day or so until you've talked yourself out of it. All right, team, we are back and we are extremely sweatier than before because I filmed for another half an hour and then I realized that my phone had gone flat. So that's why I'm all sweaty, because I needed to go do a workout and I was like, clear my head, come back and then finish answering all the rest of the questions. What's your least favorite baking task job to do? The baking side of things probably isn't where my heart desire is. I love the decorating side of things. So Fridays are definitely my favorite day. And I love the vintage pipe cakes. They're probably one of my favorites to do, even though I've literally done like I'll probably have done thousands of them. What is your favorite experience you've had with a customer? I've had people literally pick up their cakes and like start crying because they love it so much. Give me hugs. I've had little kids, literally their faces light up so much when they come to pick up their cakes. So that means so much to me. And that's why I also do love doing the cupcake classes and just things where I actually get to interact with my customers, because I feel like that brings me so much happiness, actually getting to see people rather than just hand them their cake at my house. Katie Suda asks, how come you're stepping away from cakes next year? Has it been a bit overwhelming? I wouldn't say it's been overwhelming. I need a year just to do a little bit more time to focus on me and like where my heart truly lies. I love doing cakes, but I feel like the last few months I've probably lacked a little bit of purpose, I think. So I think next year it's just about maybe finding myself a little bit more, doing a bit more exploring. But I wouldn't say overwhelming because I do still love what I do. Maddie Lee Rose asked, do you pressure yourself to maintain the amount of product you create for Easter, Xmas, Easter, etc.? I definitely do probably pressure myself. I think I just pressure myself that I don't want to go backwards. Like I don't want to do less than I did the Easter before, because in my mind that probably feels like I'm going backwards. But I do love my little like pop-ups. They have a very special place in my heart because I do get to bring my team on board and have my little platter and my little wines with my team while we're going through it. So that they definitely do hold, even though they're massive weeks, they definitely do hold a special little place in my heart. Lawsy asks, what is your favorite wedding cake you have made? One that comes to mind I did a few years ago. It was like a square 2-tier that was at the Olive House, and it had like these really nice cute reflex roses. I just love flowers. I think any wedding cake with flowers. I actually used to be a florist for a little bit. Lawsy also asks, what are the best and the worst things about being your own boss? The worst thing is probably just the fact that I feel like sometimes I never clock off, and I feel like a lot of people would feel that as well. Whether it's 9 p.m. at night or when you literally wake up in the middle of the night with ideas. I feel like public holidays are always really sad for me because I feel like all my friends go and do fun stuff and I can never go because I always have to work. Some of the best things about being my own boss, it's so amazing because I can collab with a lot of the businesses around town and do fun little activities, constantly having new ideas. And I'm also a part of the Origin Gym, so I feel like my brain's just overloaded with things that I can do in my cake business and then things that I can do at Origin, which is always really fun. Jolie Milner asked, what keeps you motivated? I'm not always motivated. I feel like sometimes people can look at social media and see the highlight reel and think that you always have motivation. Setting goals is probably a massive thing for me. I feel like I'm a massive to-do list person, and I'm a massive goal setter. And I actually have all my goals on my mirror in my bathroom. So when I'm brushing my teeth, when I'm in the shower at night, I see all my goals and I feel like I'm constantly reminded of them. And I feel like one thing I strive to do is just to be like 1% better every day. The most expensive cake you've ever made. I made a few 4-tier wedding cakes, which I think they would definitely be up there. So I feel like they'd probably be up there, like a lot of the wedding, and especially because a lot of them have to be delivered as well. What is your best-selling flavor? My mud cakes are super popular in my cakes. My white choc mud, my white choc raspberry mud, my choc mud. My vanilla cake is probably also one of my most popular, but then cupcake wise, like I feel like my red velvets, like I think you're a lover or a hater, and some people literally I think would kill for a red velvet. My personal favorite mixed cupcake flavor, I do love my red velvets, but I'm more like a fruity, like a lemon curd, that kind of vibe. Raspberry cheesecake, like pistachio is really nice, or like fruit cupcakes. What's been your favorite cake you've ever made? The one I just made for Amy's birthday with these little rice paper, they kind of look like little butterflies. I feel like I really love that, and even though I hate making my fondant, I feel like the ones with like little fondant animals are like, a few of them are probably my favorite. They turn out so cute. Tegan asks, if you met your 10-year-old self, would they be proud of where you are or surprised? Little me would be very proud of me. I think she would definitely be surprised at where I am, because as I said before, like I left school and I pursued like my health and fitness. I never thought I was going to be doing cakes. So I think, yeah, definitely would be surprised. I've always been like a bit of a workaholic. Like from a young age. I think from literally like 11 or 12, I was on my rollerblades and I'd rollerblade around all of Kyla and like deliver real estate pamphlets. I used to umpire netball, so I feel like I knew that I would get somewhere because I've always been very driven and a bit of a workaholic. Jay Humphreys asks, do you turn away much work due to the too hard basket? I feel like now that I've done it for so long, I definitely have a style. So I feel like if cakes aren't my style, and most people are usually happy, like if I send them a few ideas of what I can do. I obviously don't do fondant covered cakes, so that's probably the biggest request I get for what I don't really do. So I probably do turn away a lot of them. But there is also some like really good cake decorators around like the Goulburn Valley that like if I see a cake and I'm like, that is not my style, it's usually like one of theirs, so I can just refer them on. Lawsy asks, what has been the most challenging thing about starting your business? I feel like this last year, and to be honest, probably my whole life, I have struggled a little bit with like balance and like probably getting a little bit overwhelmed trying to do too much. At the end of the day, you can't do everything, and I feel like I've definitely learnt a lot of that the hard way. Maddie Rowan asked, where do you see yourself in 10 years? What am I now? I'm 27 now, so where do I see myself when I'm 37? Wow, that's scary. I feel like I would love to have a nice balance with my health and fitness and my cakes. Maybe a cake shop where I don't have to be working 24/7. I would love to have a family by then, but that requires finding myself a man. Eliza Bicknell asks, would you ever do a macro friendly cupcake or even protein cupcakes? To be honest, this was a massive priority of mine for a while there, but I trialed so many recipes and I feel like I just couldn't get ones that I liked, so I did give up a little bit. And I feel like there's so many like protein cupcake recipes online that like I was planning on putting them in little boxes and selling them at my gym, but maybe that could be another goal for the future. Thanks, Eliza. And Tanisha asks, I love this one because it isn't cake related, something a bit different. If you could go for a run at one location for the rest of your life, where would it be? Firstly, no hills. I hate hills. I feel like maybe along the beach somewhere that has like a nice sunset, so maybe like Queensland. This far, thank you so much for watching, guys. I do really appreciate it, and hopefully you have enjoyed learning a little bit more about me. But if you would like to ask anything else, please send me a message or comment on this and I'll be sure to answer it as soon as I can. But thank you so much for watching, and if you would like to follow along with any of my other journeys on any other pages, Paige will put them in the show notes at the very end of this. So thank you, guys.